Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Innal ladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihati kanat lahum jannatul firdawsi nuzula khalidina fiha la yabghuna 'anha hiwala. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and sisters, firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair for being here, for sitting here, for waiting, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make this moment a blessed moment for us. I'm going to ask you to do a few things while we continue. There are children with us. We want the children to be with us, but we want everyone else to be able to listen as well without any disturbance. So I'm going to ask you kindly, all children should be seated next to their parents. And if any child is restless or makes any noise, just get them, to be restful over there and bring them back inside, inshallah. We want the children here, but please don't make it a means of others not being able to listen to what's being said. And thank you for that. And also mobile phones, please try and keep them silent or off if you want to. Okay, the topic is about 10 ways of attaining Jannah. And number one I'm going to start with is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to seek knowledge, and he said, whosoever will take the pathway of knowledge, whosoever will seek the pathway of knowledge of Quran, knowledge of the Sunnah, then Allah Azza wa Jal will make their pathway to Jannah easy. By means of you seeking that knowledge of the Quran Sunnah, Allah will make your pathway to Jannah easy. Why? Because when you know the do's and when you know the don'ts, you will go ahead and do the do's because you want to go to Jannah, and you will stay away from the don'ts because you want to stay away from Jahannam. And that's simple. Because the more you learn, the better Muslim you can become. You know what to do, you know what not to do. And the thing about us is that we shouldn't really put this thing in our head, which most of us have, which is the Imam has to do everything. This thing kills our community. When you think that the Imam has to do everything, he has to make every lecture, he has to give every sort of dawah, it really spoils it. Because we are also responsible for our share of the dawah. And our share of the dawah can be they're very small things. So for example, you got one ayah somewhere, you heard of one verse. If it's a very common verse that you can just spread to others, please spread it. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, "Ballighu anni wala ayah." He said, preach and send from me to others, convey from me even if it's one verse. Okay, a hadith or something that you might have got onto on your phone, just send it to others. But please verify first whether it is authentic or not. Sometimes we get these hadith on our phones and they seem so good. But they say, if it's too good to be true, then maybe it's too good to be true. Alright? Sometimes you get this hadith, if you just do this, then you're going to get this much and that much and that. And it never ends. Okay? Now there are ahadith for small deeds, you get a lot of good rewards, but there's not that many. Okay? So please verify from your local imam or somebody who has the knowledge, verify from them if it is something that is authentic, and then forward it on to others, or something with a good chain and forward it to others. But don't be like those people who don't want to seek the knowledge, because once they know what is halal and once they know what is haram, it's like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from all of that, There are certain people who are like that. So they don't want to become practicing Muslims, because if they do, then a lot of things becomes haram. Now there are two extremes to this. One extreme is that when we give da'wah to brothers and sisters, or you're trying to bring someone to Islam, or you're trying to make someone practicing, then you go to one extreme and you start making an endless list of harams. You say to him, look brother, I mean we all understand that you're supposed to say basic things like when you come to Islam, you can't have pork and you can't drink and blah. Okay, few things. Okay, you told them haram, you can't have these illicit relationships. Okay, fine, right? Something you say, but when you start telling them about this haram and that, and you better, start walking with trousers above your ankles, right? And you better not be seen in front of this place because it's haram to go there, and you better get rid of all of these friends because they're all haram friends, and you better be able to take all these apps off your phone because that's haram, and you better, by the time you finish your list, he's going to say, oh, you haram, I'm not getting into this religion. Because by the time you get into that religion, you've got too many things to think about. All right, too many things to be thinking about. And the same thing that with the Muslims who want to become practicing, let them take the first few steps. When they take the first few steps, they get comfortable. And then after a little while, we tell them the next few things. And tell them the next few things. When they get comfortable, next few things. Now, where did I get this from? Some of you are going to be disagreeing with me, and you're going to say, no, Shaykh. You're going to tell them the full whack. Right? Sayyidina Mu'adh radiallahu anhu was sent to Yemen by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his time, during his time. When he sent him over there, Mu'adh said, O Messenger of Allah, what should I tell the people? And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied by saying, tell them about the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, about the oneness of God. He said, once they have accepted the Shahada, once they've believed in it, then tell them there are 5 prayers they have to do in a day and in a night. 5 in a whole day. Okay? And he said, when they have done their salah, when they're committed to their salah, to their prayers, he said, فَأَخْبِرُهُمْ. That's when you tell them that there's going to be a certain portion of wealth that will be taken from them and given to the poor people. That's zakah. But look at how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam staged it. And this is a hadith in Bukhari. He didn't say, go and tell them the Shahada, and tell them about the Salah, and tell them the Zakah, and they must do all of this. Day number 1, as soon as they become Muslim, it's like, yes, I've got to pray, and I've got to give all my wealth and so on. People will say, what? I've got to do all of this? Get them used to one thing. If they're not used to something, let them come into Islam. Let them take in what they're accustomed to. But yes, as soon as they're comfortable with that, then tell them the next thing and tell them the next thing. And that's how we draw them near. Now that's one extreme of trying to get people to be, to chase them away because you're giving them too many things, okay? And the second extreme is there are Muslims who don't want to know about the haram of something because it's like, I can't do it anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've actually seen this. A brother who's sitting there and he's having a bag of crisps. He's having a bag of crisps, okay? He's eating a bag of crisps. So somebody else says to him, hey, is that halal what you're eating there? He says, I think so. I think so. He said, is it halal what you're eating there? He said, must be. It must be, right? So it's kind of eating. It's like, if someone's told you, is it halal or not, you've got the ingredients at the back of the packet of crisps. All you have to do, you have to check it, and that's it. No, the guy wants to finish it, and then he looks and says, I didn't know he was haram. I didn't know he was haram. Okay? Now the problem here is that you had someone telling you, or you knew that you had to check. But there's people who may not check, because it's something that they have to stop doing. Now don't be one of those. Try and acquire whatever little knowledge you can, move forward, stay away from the two extremes, and your pathway to Jannah, inshallah, will be easy. Okay? That is number 1. Number 2, the Prophet ﷺ has told us, Inna sidqa yahdi ila al-birr. When you become truthful, then you will end up doing good actions. When you are truthful, you will do good actions. And when you do good actions, you will be led to Jannah. You will be led to Jannah. And a person continues to say the truth and speak the truth until Allah writes them as a Siddiq and as a person who's very truthful in His eyes. So you'll be raised with the likes of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu on the Day of Judgment if you carry on remaining truthful. Now I'm going to say this to you. Why did the Prophet ﷺ start off by saying that truthfulness is something that will lead you to good, virtuous deeds? Why? It is because when you're speaking the truth, you will surround yourself with truthful people. Okay? Liars hang around with liars, and truthful people hang around with truthful people. When liars lie, it hurts truthful people. And when people tell the truth at a time when liars want them to lie, then it hurts the liars. Okay? They don't get on. They don't get on. If you're really honest, and if you're upright, and if you're truthful, then you will not have friends as liars. I don't have any friends that I know that would lie to me. And that's how I've kept my life. If any one of my friends was to lie to me, even in a difficult situation, he's not my friend anymore. I'd rather he tells me the truth, and we both face the situation, and we both say, well, you know, you've mucked up or whatever, you've done something really wrong, and I'm upset with you. I'd rather we go through that than for a person to lie to me. Why? Because today, they might lie about something that is small. Tomorrow is going to be something big that they will lie about, and it's going to really hurt you. And that's the thing about us. We Muslims that are practicing Muslims, or people who want to be good Muslims, we don't want to be in a company of people that can backstab you. You don't want somebody that will suddenly start, turn against you. You don't want someone who will say one thing on your face and another thing behind your back. We don't want those kind of people in our lives. Because when you have that, you've got turbulence in your life. You've got turbulence in your life. And that's why we want to stay away from such people. And when you stay away from them, what happens is that you attract the truthful people. Now, let me ask you one question, and I want to see who answers this. Why do you think any person who is honest and speaks the truth as a Muslim, why do you think he is honest? Anyone put your hands up and tell me? Why do you think he's speaking the truth? That's it. Allah Azza wa Jal is watching. Now listen to this here, this is the best part. If the person cannot lie because Allah is watching him or watching her, then the person will also do a lot of good actions because Allah is watching them. Do you guys understand? And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said that when you speak the truth will lead you to good actions. And when you do good actions, it will lead you to Jannah. And that's the remedy. Okay? If you start speaking the truth, just don't lie. Just don't lie. And inshallah, that will lead you to Jannah. That was number 2. Number 3. And I'm going to say this first to our sisters. The next thing I'm going to say, I hope you sisters don't mind, okay? It's about some brothers. It's not all brothers. It's about some brothers, okay? Some brothers might say to me, subhanAllah, they'll say to me maybe about, I don't know, they said all of a sudden, Shaykh, make dua. Why? Because my wife is expecting. I said, fine. When is she due? Maybe 6 months later. Now 6 months later, I'm going to forget the date, when the due date is. But the brother, he's probably, it's all done and dusted. What he does is, if I receive a message early in the morning, it might come to me at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be like, MashaAllah, in capital letters, okay, with exclamation marks. MashaAllah, we have been blessed. Me and my wife, and it's coming at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's coming with all these, capital letters and the little things that go with it, and the emojis and whatnot, okay? It's coming with it, and he texts me early in the morning, and he says, we have been blessed with a baby. It's going to be a boy. Brothers didn't want to speak, okay? Since he just said it on their behalf, it's going to be a baby boy. But sometimes what happens is when they delay it slightly, it comes with a mashallah, but with small letters. It comes with less writing. It comes without the exclamation marks. Then you kind of know by the end of the text is going to be a baby girl. Okay? Now, no offense to any of the sisters, but some brothers do this, and I want to say one thing to you, which is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting. He was sitting with his Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in, and he said, whoever has 3 daughters, and the 3 daughters, they bring them up with a good Islamic upbringing, then Allah will give them Jannah. Okay? A Sahabi said, Messenger of Allah, what about 2 daughters, if somebody has 2 daughters, and the Prophet ﷺ said, if somebody has 2 daughters and they bring them up with a good Islamic upbringing, then Allah will give them Jannah. Then a woman said, Messenger of Allah, I only have 1 daughter. And the Prophet ﷺ then said, whoever has 1 daughter and brings them up with a good Islamic upbringing, Allah will enter them into Jannah. Okay? Now, I want to say to you, yes, sometimes, our culture sees the boys as those who, take the leading role and so on, and sometimes they're the ones who protect their mothers and protect their sisters from harm and so on. And that is probably one of the reasons why we probably get excited with boys. But I want to tell you one thing is that girls that come into the world, they are our ticket to Jannah as long as we give them a good Islamic upbringing. Okay? I don't want you sisters to get too excited and go home and tell your husband, I'm a ticket to Jannah, my dad brought me up in a nice way. Okay? You just take it easy, don't get your heads too big, okay? You're the source of somebody going to Jannah as long as they brought you up in an Islamic way, but you also will have daughters and we have a responsibility of bringing them up in the right way. Okay? That was number 3. Number 4, fourth way of going towards Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever will guarantee for me to protect what is between their jaws and between their thighs, I will guarantee them Jannah. Okay? So whoever can protect their tongue and their private part, then Allah Azza wa Jal will give them Jannah. Now let's look at the part of the hadith that talks about us controlling our tongues, because I tell you one thing, a lot of us, subhanallah, we are people who have been blessed in many ways, but our blessing sometimes becomes our own fall. What I mean by that is, subhanAllah, Allah's blessed all the people in this country. Even the one who gets benefits in this country is still rich compared to those who are in the developing countries. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand? You don't understand. The people here who claim that the benefits and don't have much money, they are still more well off than the people in developing countries. So Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed all of us in this country in many, many different ways. Okay? And one of the ways is He's given us, homes, He's given us families, He's given us freedom, He's given us education. All of us born in this country have free education all the way till the age of 16, and you've got till the age of 18, and you've got all of this there. Now what happens sometimes is, during that education you learn a lot of other stuff. What I mean by that is, in the British school system, you learn how to cuss. You know what? Do you know what cussing is? You kids know what cussing is, right? What do you call it in your school? Come on. When you start putting each other down. Huh? Naughty words? Where do you go to primary school? Huh? You call it naughty words in Cambridge? You're serious?
Yeah.
Is it? You call it naughty words?
Yeah.
So you don't have the term cussing each other. Do you? Swearing, Anna, but you don't have cussing each other. You don't have that at all? No? Monana? Is it? First time I'm hearing this in the whole of England, in one place. I'm telling you, this is going on camera. You better speak up, yeah? You haven't got cussing in word in...
No, just naughty.
I'll ask them to tell me the truth first. I like that, brother, yeah? They're trying to be... They're trying to say the naughty words, the one words. The thing is, you learn about these naughty words while you're in school, okay, and you learn how to cuss. Now, cuss is when you are trying to put the person down with all of this, whatever words you're going to use, and they're trying to do the same thing to you. Now, it all happens first with fun, but it's wrong. But later on, if you want to keep and sustain a good relationship with anyone, you better put that cussing in the back pocket of yours, because if you use it, you're never going to have a good relationship with anybody. Okay? And I'm telling you, I've dealt with a lot of, not that I advertise this, but I've dealt with many marital problems, and one of the problems that we have is because of all the freedom and education and all the upbringing that we've had, we end up talking too much. Do you guys understand that or not? Yeah? A lot of the marital problems can be solved if we learn what the Prophet ﷺ has told us to do, which is to try and control the tongue and stop it. Okay? People like these young boys, you know these young boys here, they dream of supercars. Okay? They dream of supercars, and they dream of driving supercars, like Ferraris. Guys, listen to me, please. Guys, listen to me. I'm talking to you guys so that you get your attention, okay? They love supercars. All they think about is how fast they're going. Yeah, that's what they think about. They think about the fastest car on the track is them. And they think about going round the curves with the fastest speed possible, doing skids, leaving time marks on the ground, and everyone's cheering them on. The one thing these boys fail in is they don't think about the brakes. If you want to be a good driver, if you want to be the Formula One champion, you've got to not only know how to accelerate, but you've got to know, as well as your acceleration, you've got to know when to press the brakes and how much to press the brakes and when to come to a halt. Okay? These boys will also think about maybe, let's say, for wrestling or boxing. So all they think about is what they're doing is, or let's say a martial arts, okay? All they think about is how they're knocking the other guy down, okay? And they're all trying to go bang, 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 bang. But what they don't think about, right? They don't think about, boy, listen, you're not listening still, yeah? What they don't think about is the other person can do exactly the same thing, and you've got to be as good with blocking as you are with hitting. If you don't block, you haven't got defense. And you're down. You're down very quickly. Without knowing it, you're down very quickly. Same as the Formula racing. If you don't know when to stop the brakes, you're gonna have a crash. And the same with our tongues. If you don't know when to keep quiet, you're in serious trouble in life. Because you're going to break up with your parents, you're going to break up with your families, you're going to break up with your wife later on, you're going to break up with your husband later on. Why? Because you talk too much. And you think you've got the power, and you think that you can take them on. You're going to say things that they're gonna wish they never had a cussing match with you ever. And because of that, you ruin your relationship. In fact, there are people, all they needed to do is just stay quiet. Like, let's say, for example, husband's done wrong, wife has done wrong, whichever way it is. Can the other person just say to themselves that, you know what, they've done wrong, I don't need to put them down. I can talk nicely to them. And if they're not ready to listen to me, then I can wait for another time to speak to them. And you can sometimes silence is the best reply to people. You know when someone says something to you and you don't like it, okay? Silence is the best reply. Let me give you an example. Yeah, we've got Abdul Subhan at the back over there. Yeah, okay. So he was a student of mine in Yusuf Sam School. So sit down. What's wrong with you guys, man? Sit down.
It's their teacher.
It's their teacher. I know. It's their teacher. So your teacher, I'm the teacher of your teacher. Okay. I taught him in Yusuf Sam School in Bronsbury College for Boys. Now, one thing I observed is this. When I was teaching, certain teachers used to come inside the class and they say, "Hey, kids, come on, sit down, take a chair, sit down, kids, this, that." And he's talking loud, he's trying to get their attention by talking loud. Okay? What I used to do is this. I used to come in the class, and let's say the kids are talking, I used to be like this. You know, after a little while, there's a deadly silence. There's a deadly silence. Because silence calls for silence. Shouting calls for shouting. If you get into a shouting match with someone, it's who can shout the loudest. If you get into a cussing match with someone, it's like who can cuss the worst and make the other person feel like they wanted to be buried that day, 6 foot down. But if you go silent, how long can the other person speak to you while you're silent? They can't. If they carry on like you're silent and they go, you did, they carry on doing that, yeah? How long are they going to do that when you maintain your silence? When you maintain your silence, you've got the control. So I'm going to tell you that the Prophet ﷺ told us that whoever can guarantee to protect that which is in the jaw, between the jaws, which is your tongue, and protect that between the thighs, Rasulullah ﷺ guarantees for you Jannah. Okay, number 5. To discuss number 5, I'm going to have to take you back 1400 years ago. We've got Rasulullah ﷺ waiting. So Rasulullah ﷺ waiting to make his migration. And he's the last person to make the migration with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And the people of Medina are eagerly waiting for him to arrive. And they're going every day to the hilltops and looking over to see if there's any sign of the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. They wait days on. And one day they come out and they see 2 silhouettes. And it's 2 camels, 2 people on top, and they come down and they see that it is Abu Bakr and Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the girls take out their drums and they beat them and they say, طَلَعَ الْبَدْرُ عَلَيْنَا. They sing that famous song. And then after that, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrives in Medina, he's on his camel. All the people around are waiting to see what he does next. It's a moment that has been marked in history as a moment when they're all waiting to see what are the first words that are going to be coming out of the Prophet's mouth. And as he is coming along with his camel in Medina, all the Muslims are waiting to greet him in their house. And every Muslim is saying, Messenger of Allah, here's my house. Messenger of Allah, here's my house. Please come to my house. And the Prophet is on his camel. And there are non-Muslims here too. And some of the non-Muslims here, they are from the Jewish community and they're waiting to see the Prophet ﷺ, waiting to hear from him. And the first words that come out from the Prophet ﷺ's mouth, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, at'imu ta'am, feed people food. Feed people food. Afshu salam, spread peace. Sallu bil-layl wan-nasu niyam. Pray at night when others are asleep. Tadkhulul jannata bisalam. You will enter Jannah peacefully, safe and sound. Without any trouble, you will go into paradise. Okay? The first thing he said is to feed people food. Now I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, one thing we all can do. We're all good at having lovely foods in our houses. Whether you're from Asia here, from the Middle East here, whether you're from Africa here, we've all got lovely food that we cook at home. And most of us only share food with one another. Okay, we only give to one another's houses. Right? It's like somebody's house, you give it to them, somebody else's house, you give it to them. Fine, they're all Muslims. I'm asking you to give food to the non-Muslim houses in your neighborhood without any dawah, without a single word, without inviting them to Islam. Just give them food. When they say to you that, what's this food for? Just say, enjoy your evening, right? Just want to give you food. Now when that happens over time, every other week you're giving food to one neighbor or another neighbor and you keep on rotating between them, the next time they show on TV a person who's got a beard, who might not have a beard, who's got a turban, who might not have a turban, who's got this kind of clothing, who might not have that, but he's like... And they basically show that this is a terrorist, and all the Muslims are terrorists, and this Muslimic religion is going to take over, and they've got Sharia law that is going to take over our whole country. When they show all of that, on TV, your neighbors are going to say that Muslims cannot be like that because you're good Muslims. You're the ones who gave them food. You're the ones who brought smiles to their faces. You're the ones who made them have a lovely meal now and again, and they will have good thoughts about you. And I'm being honest with you, this is how the reaction will be. I'm telling you, I'll share you one story with you. Okay, I'll share one story with you. I was in North London. This was about 10 years ago. I was in a shop, a chicken and chip shop. Okay, I don't go there regularly, so you boys don't take that as a delil to go every single day. All right, you boys live on chicken and chips every single day. It's not good for your system. Anyway, now and again is all right. Now and again is all right. Now, chicken and chips. I was sitting there in the corner having my chicken and chips, and there was a Somali brother in the other corner having chicken and chips. There's only about 20 seats there in this place, very small place. And in comes in two guys. They're proper English. They come in. They go up to the counter and they want to order their food. And as they're ordering, one of them turns around and looks at me in the corner and says, "You shut up!" And the thing was, I wasn't even talking. Right? And then he carries on, right, trying to order, and looks at the chicken wings, and he says, he tells his friend, he says, "Nah, this is a bit too expensive. We won't go for that. We'll go for something else." And then he turns around again to it and goes, "You shut up!" to me. And then I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, he's having a bad day, whatever. Okay, I'm just eating. The Somali brother's just eating, and that's it. Two guys come and they sit on the on their seat, okay, in front of me. And I said in Urdu to the shopkeeper, I said, "Meri taraf se inko thoda sa wings khila dena." In Urdu, which means that on my behalf, can you just please feed them, give them some wings. So what happens is when the order comes with the whole tray, the two of them, they say, "Hey, no mate, we never ordered this. There's some chicken wings here, we never ordered that." And then the person says, "These chicken wings are from the person who is behind you." Okay? So that's me. The guy literally, okay, if he's facing this way, so you're exactly where I am. He turned around and he goes to me, "You're the man." He shook my hands and then we start speaking. I said hello to him, he said hello to me. I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm from this place." And fine. "What do you work as?" "I work as a fireman. I'm from the local station, from fire depot and so on." I made friends with him, we start talking. I said, "I want you guys to get better salaries because you work really hard, you save our lives, and the government is not giving you enough of a salary. I hope you get better salaries. I'll honk my car next time I go past there." The thing is, the whole ice, everything broke with £2 chicken and chips. Okay, wings. If you feed people food, you can get through to them. Simple way. Can you imagine if he said to me, "You shut up," and I said to him, "Well, you shut up." Can you imagine if he said to me something rude, and I got up and I said to the Subhan brother, "Get up, bro, let's go in it." What's going to happen after that? Well, there's going to be some blood. There's going to be a fight. There's going to be blood. And then none of us will get on. We'll both hate each other. Maybe he'll bring his friends over to look for me. I'll bring my friends over to look for him. What's that going to achieve? So if you just show your good one response, hopefully you get back a good response. Back again. Alhamdulillah, it worked. So I'm going to say to you, the Prophet told us to feed people food. Okay, number six is that the Prophet ﷺ told us whoever prays the two cool prayers will go to Jannah. The two cool prayers, according to a large group of interpreters of hadith, they said it's fajr and isha. Now what happens is a lot of us get too tired at night, or we're too tired in the morning, and that's why we miss it. And what you've got to understand is be consistent by doing your Isha and Fajr. Be consistent. Make sure that you don't miss them. And you have got your entry into Jannah. Okay? It's simple. Why can't most people get up for Fajr? Can anyone tell me the answer? Why can't most people get up for Fajr? When you tell me, sir? Sorry? Why the tired?
Because they're tired.
Why the tired? Why? I'm asking you why the tired? Thank you, sister. They sleep late. The reason why you're tired in the morning is because you slept late at night. If you go to sleep at 9, 10 o'clock, you're bound to be up by 4, 5 in the morning. If you go to sleep at 11 and 12 in the night, then you're just about going to get up at 6, 7 in the morning. If you go to sleep at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, you're going to be very tired at fajr time. And that's why you're missing your fajr. Get your sleep on time, your fajr will be fine, inshallah. And we lot are really spoiled, because if you look at the people in developing countries, honestly, we need to take our sons and daughters to live amongst poor people in developing countries. They are the people who have got the origin of human life in them. I go to Bangladesh, okay, in winter time, and this is the case. Fajr time, okay, Fajr time, you've had no central heating in the whole building, because there is no central heating there. Middle of a village, okay? There's no central heating. It's cold. It's about 4 or 5 degrees outside. It's foggy. It's misty, right? I get up, you do wudu with cold water. Cold water, you do wudu. Then when you finish, you got to try and put your shoes on. But first, you have to grab your shoe and you have to give it a shake, because there might be a frog inside. Seriously. And you got to make sure that you put your shoes in a certain way in the night so the frogs don't go inside, because the frogs are all around, okay? You got to sort of get to the musalla, and you've got to, you got to go, why are you doing that? Because of the mosquitoes, right, that are biting you. So you got to dodge them, okay? You dodge all of that, then you take a torchlight and you get out, and you're now in a freezing cold outside, and you take yourself to the local masjid, which is not very far away. So you walk there. Sometimes it's muddy, sometimes it's slippery, but you make yourself to the masjid, you pray with the imam, and when you come out, subhanallah, the whole village is awake in the morning. The whole village is awake in the morning. People have started their day with fajr. Why? Because their lights are off about 9, 10 o'clock, it's done. And they don't have Wi-Fi over there, which is the very thing that is keeping a lot of people awake in the night. Alright? That's the real reason why you're going to sleep late. Let's talk about Wi-Fi. Whether it's your PS4, it's your Xbox, whether it's your smartphone, whether it's the TV, whether it's your satellite, whatever it is, it's all being streamed down through that Wi-Fi or the TV thing, and that's why you're getting to sleep late. And we're so spoiled that at Fajr, in our country here, we have warmth, central heating, no mosquitoes, no animals roaming around in the house, okay? Nothing to worry about, soft carpet to walk on. All you're going to do is do wudu with warm water, perfect warm water, and you've got to then pray on a lovely musalla, okay, that is going to have, the cushion as well when you go into sujood, okay, and people can't be bothered to get out of their beds because they're too tired. Because it's like perfect for them. The duvet is 13.5 ton. The pillow has got duck feathers inside it, okay? The mattress has been made by Sleep Night, so it's like when I sleep, even if I'm a hippo, I can be asleep. You're so comfortable and so spoiled, you miss your fajr, and those people in the cold there, their whole village more or less is up early in the morning. And I want you to remember this, because I don't understand why people are making excuses that they can't get up for Fajr, because it might be a little bit cold here, a little bit this there, okay? That's number 6 for you. Number 7, the Prophet ﷺ told us that whoever prays 12 rakats, these are sunnah rakats, 12 rakats of sunnah a day, Allah will build them a house in Jannah for every day sunnah they complete. This is 2 rakats of fajr sunnah early in the morning. This is 4 rakats of sunnah before dhuhr, 2 rakats of sunnah after the dhuhr fard, and then 2 rakats of maghrib sunnah after the fard, and 2 rakats of isha sunnah after isha. And anyone sitting here thinking, man, that's a lot to do to get a house in Jannah. What's wrong with you, man? If I said to you right now, okay, let's put it this way here. If I said to you, if you complete this task today in 12 minutes, I'm going to give you a house in Dubai in your name. Which guy here is going to say, and if it was really genuine, 12 minutes of a task on a computer or something, I told you to do it, and if you complete it, then you go to Dubai and you get a house with the keys in your name, in your hand. And if I said to you the next day, you do that task again, I'm going to give you a house in Florida in your name. Next day in California in your name. Next day in Spain in your name. Next day southern France in your name. Next day villa in your name. What are you going to do? Every day you complete the 12-minute task. Yes or no?
Yes.
Or, you know? No, guys?
Yes, yes.
Man, I'm in some wrong place, bro. You guys are not going to do it. Man, we guys go crazy for things like this. We go crazy. I mean, if you tell people, yeah, look, we're going to give you a sale. And it's going to be 1 day sale. It's going to be the biggest sale. And you're going to be able to buy things that are like less than 50%, sometimes 70% off, 80% off. But you got to be there on that day. Otherwise, they're all going to be gone. Right? One day, what is it? 26th of December. Boxing Day. You give a Boxing Day sale. What do people do? You tell them 9 a.m. the doors are going to be open. They're outside at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yes or no?
Yeah.
They're outside 2 a.m. in the morning. Someone are getting tents outside. Not miss that sale. You're telling me if we saw those houses in Jannah, we wouldn't be praying our sunnahs every single day. Are you having a laugh? Trying to get all those houses, we'll be praying them every day, an extra to get them houses. Okay? That's number 7. Number 8. The Prophet ﷺ has told us, whoever will memorize or guard the 99 names of Allah, then you will enter Jannah. Okay? Now the 99 names of Allah are not too difficult to learn. You can spend literally 100 days and you will get them done if you do one a day. In 3 months, 10 days, you will have all the 99 names memorized. Just add a new name every single day. And just concentrate on what you are saying and that you are invoking Allah. And if you can do that, then your entry into Jannah is there. This is a hadith of Bukhari. Okay? So you can even get up in the morning and you can make a dua with all the 99 names. Because Allah has said in the Holy Quran, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَدْعُوهُ بِهَا. Allah has the most beautiful names, so call Him by those names, through those names. So, if you want to say early in the morning, يَا مَنْ هُوَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم العدل اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العلي الكبير الحفيظ المقيت الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب المجيب الواسع الحكيم الودود المجيد الباعث الشهيد الحق الوكيل القوي المتين الولي الحميد المحسن المبدئ المعيد المحيي المميت الحي القيوم الواجد الماجد الواحد الصمد القادر المقتدر المقدم الأول الآخر الظاهر الباطن الوالي المتعالي البر التواب المنتقم العفو مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام المقسط الجامع الغني المغني الجامع الغني المغني المقسط الجامع المغني المانع الضار النافع النور الهادي البديع الباقي الوارث الرشيد الصبور. Then you can make whatever dua you want. You said the 99 names. If you learn them, take 100 days to learn them. Take 200 if you want. Learn one name in 2 days. Just keep on repeating them over the 2 days and add one on. You will learn them just over half a year. You have learned all the 99 names. And your entry into Jannah is there, subhanAllah. Number 9. Number 9, I want to say to you, the Prophet ﷺ has told us, whoever's final words on this earth are La ilaha illallah, they have entered Jannah. Okay? Now, people really get a bit, sometimes they get a bit, awkward saying that, oh, my family member passed away, but they never said La ilaha illallah. I never heard them saying La ilaha illallah on their deathbed. Listen, my friends, your family members or your loved ones don't have to say it by tongue. As long as they've got it in their mind in the last moments of their life and they're dying on Tawheed and they are basically saying it in their mind, that's fine, that's also accepted. But the thing is, if you want to make sure that you say La ilaha illallah at the moment of your death, I'm going to give you a very simple way of ensuring that. What you do is, anytime in your life that you're frightened with something, anytime in your life you have a shock, and you're shocked, straight away train yourself to say La ilaha illallah. And this is actually a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that whenever there was some kind of fear, the Prophet ﷺ would say La ilaha illallah. He would say La ilaha illallah. So if you see anything that shocks you, say La ilaha illallah. Because the day when it's destined, may God protect all of us. Say Ameen.
Ameen.
The day it's destined for you to be in a car and you're traveling at a high speed and suddenly you see a pile of cars in front of you on the motorway, if at that time you've already made yourself say La ilaha illallah, then within seconds you've said it and you're gone from this world. Okay? The moment you're shocked with anything, an earthquake or whatever might come across, if you say it, then you've gone straight away to Jannah. Okay, that's number 9. So whoever's last words are La ilaha illallah, they will go to Jannah. Number 10 and the last one. And I know some of these boys have probably got some questions. Boys, if you've got any questions, I'll take them after I finish my 10th one. Okay? The last one is a very easy one. It's a very simple one. If you can say these words early in the morning, or if you can say these words in the evening, you are very, very lucky. It will only take you 15 seconds to say these words in Arabic. 15 seconds. If you mean it from the heart, then the Prophet ﷺ has told us that if you die that day, you said it in the morning, but if you die that day before Maghrib, you go straight into Jannah. And if you say that evening and you die before the next morning, you have gone straight into Jannah. These words, you can search them up on the internet. If you search supreme words of forgiveness, you will find the words in your, you will find them on Google, supreme words of forgiveness, or you can type in Sayyidul Istighfar, and you can find them. I'm going to give you the translation as well as I say them, but you don't have to say it with the translation. Allahumma, O Allah, Anta Rabbi, you are my sustainer, my Lord, my sustainer. La ilaha illa ant, there is no one except for you as a God. خلقتني, you created me, وأنا عبدك, and I'm your servant, وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت, and I will do my absolute best to stick to the promise that we've got between ourselves, which is that I should obey you. أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت, I seek refuge and protection in you from the sins that I've committed. أبوء لك بنعمتك علي, I admit that you have given me many, many gifts. وأبوء بذنبي, and I also admit the sins that I've committed. فاغفر لي, so please forgive me. فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت, because there's no one that can forgive me except for you. If you say these words from your heart in the morning, then by evening, if you've passed away, you've gone straight into Jannah. If you say them in the evening, by morning, if you pass away, you go straight into Jannah. I'm going to encourage you to learn them, to say them, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make it an easy path for all of us to go to paradise. And what's your question, young boy? Go on.
You know when you said that you can buy food from people?
Yeah.
What if you're too poor to owe someone? Like, for example, if your friend one day bought you lunch and you want to buy something for your appreciation, what happens if you're too poor or something
Okay, so it's a good question that you've said. Is that if someone has helped you at one point in your life with some food or something else that you needed, so he's given an example. Let's say a friend bought you some lunch and you couldn't afford it, but you want to repay the favor back again. Then what do you do? Because you don't have money to give him, you can't afford to give him food. What you do is you say, "May Allah reward you." You say, "Jazakallahu khairan," may Allah reward you. You thank him. And once you've thanked him and you say Jazakallah khairan, then that is your way of truly appreciating what he's done for you. And I tell you one thing that will happen. If you're a person who appreciates others that help you, I will tell you one thing, that Allah will give you the gift they gave them. He's going to give you their gift as well as them. They'll have their gift, but he'll also give the gift to you. So I know many people who were poor when they were young, but when they grew older, when they became older, then Allah Azza wa Jal blessed them with money. And Allah Azza wa Jal blessed them with affluence, and He gave them a lot. And they were in the position then that, forget feeding one person, they could feed hundreds of people. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen many people like this, that Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed them when they grew up. I know people who were not intelligent when they were young, but when they grew older, when they become older, then Allah Azza wa Jal blesses them with intelligence, that they're able to actually lead people in many different fields. Okay, I know people who were weak when they were young, and when they became older, Allah Azza wa Jal gave them strength. So just because you don't have something today doesn't mean you won't have it tomorrow. And you'll be able to not only pay back, if you don't see that person again, you'll be able to help another 100 people that were in your position or in a similar position to you when you were young. You had a question, yes?
You know how you said if you pray sunnah, then Allah will build you houses in Jannah. Why can't you just ask for the houses in Jannah?
That's a good question, yeah. My friend has asked that if Allah Azza wa Jal is going to give you a house in Jannah because of your 12 rakats that you're going to pray, why can't Allah Azza wa Jal just give it to you? Because you end up in Jannah and say, "Oh Allah, I want loads of houses." Okay? The things that our Prophet ﷺ promised us in this world, they are special gifts. They are special gifts. So once you attain that in Jannah, you're special with those gifts. You can ask whatever you want in Jannah, but you can't ask for these special things. Okay? So for example, if somebody got to Jannatul Firdaus, which is the highest of all the Jannahs in Jannah, then that is a special gift they got. All the people in the other 7 Jannahs can't say, "Oh Allah, I want to go to Jannatul Firdaus and I want to live in Jannatul Firdaus. Give me a house in Jannatul Firdaus." You can't do that. That's like a bit of a cheat. Because those people spend they put so much effort into getting Jannatul Firdaus. That's a special treat. Now the other people in the other 7 Jannahs can say, "Oh Allah, I want this, I want that, I want this," they'll get it. But the special things that are mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah, you can only attain them while you're here on this earth. If Allah wants to give it to you out of His bounty in the next world, He can. But as far as we know, those things are special to you. Like for example, the people who fasted, they will go through a special door called the Babul Rayyan. It's a special door. It's like the blessings in there, other people won't get. Okay? The people who pray tahajjud on this earth, and they continue to pray the nightly prayers, the Qiyamul Layl, the tahajjud. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ. Their eyes don't even know what surprises I've kept for them. They're going to be special surprises for them that nobody else is going to get. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you can get other houses, but you won't get those houses which are promised in the hadith. Okay. Any other questions we have? Maybe from the sister side. Any sisters got any questions? Sisters? Brothers? Any questions? Young boys? No questions? Of how you're going to beat someone up in boxing without blocking, without having any defense? How are you going to win the Formula Race 1 without actually pressing the brakes? No? No questions? Yes, sister.
If you're trying to memorize Quran and obviously you know through those times where you can't, but you're worried that you're going to forget it, how do you get around that? What can you do?
Okay, that's good. What you do, sister, is you can repeat it in your mind, right, with the intention of keeping it, alive in yourself. So you don't say it with the tongue, but you just go over it in your mind, okay, during that week. Any other questions? Going? Yes. So on.
The question is, many of us live in communities where there's not many Muslims around. What advice do you have to be consistent in trying to stay
Good question. So the brother's asking about people who are living predominantly in non-Muslim societies. How do they keep their faith and their iman alive, and ongoing? The key thing to that question is suhbah. You need companionship. You need to keep companionship of Muslims. If you become alone, then the Prophet ﷺ has said, the lone sheep is an easy target for the wolf. But the wolf has a problem of attacking a whole entire group or herd of sheep. He has a problem. But it doesn't have a problem of attacking one on its own. So the sheep that strays is a target, a clear, easy target for the wolf. So you'll be an easy target for the shaitan if you're on your own, if you don't have the companionship. Because it's very easy to drop down. If you don't have people to remind you of what to do, if you don't have people who are doing the salah, they're on the deen, they're committed. If you don't remain in their company, but you're in the company of those people who miss their salah, they miss their obligations towards the deen, you're going to easily miss it. Because whoever's company we stay in, we become like them. I guarantee you start watching certain movies and certain things and whatever, right, on these screens, then whoever you're watching, you're going to slowly start to, even if you don't do exactly what they're doing, you're going to at least think like the way they're thinking, because it has an effect on you. So if you remain in the company of good people, even if you're not doing good, you're going to at least think like the way good people are thinking. It at least attracts you towards them and gives you a boost. So if you can't get this in, let's say, a town like this or other towns, okay, you need to keep company of a local town people who are actually in a good company. Now, if you can't find that, let's say you can't find a good Muslim friend or someone who's nearby, try and find a masjid somewhere where you can make friends with someone. If you can't find that even, then go to whatever Muslim societies or clubs or whatever they might have and try and find them. If you can't find that, because the first thing is to try and find someone who is actually there in real person. If you can't, then join the companionship of someone online. So here's where, even for both the groups, online videos of Islamic lectures and other things are really good because they give you that little boost when you need it. But online is very different from real life. Like a lot of you have heard me through YouTube. But it's very different hearing me in YouTube and coming here today. Yes or no, tell me. Yes? It's very different because it's a human to human relationship. That's how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started the deen. He didn't do it through just, a distance away. He made them come to his gatherings. They sat there, they watched him, they learned from him, they emulated him, they copied him, they started to behave like him, because this is what humans do when they're with each other. You start behaving like the people who are around you. And if you're with some, people who are doing bad stuff, then they say, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah? Okay, so brother there, yes.
What's your advice on how to raise righteous children?
Righteous children, how to raise them. The advice to raising righteous children is first to become righteous ourselves as parents. Okay, your children will only go to the extent of two people in their lives. Okay, one is their parents first, and second is their teacher. So a lot of us actually put the burden on the teachers to become Islamic and the children just to become like the teachers when they spend 2 hours only with the teachers on an evening and maybe 6 hours in the whole week or 7-8 hours in the whole week, and we kind of think, well, that's it. You should become like your teacher and not like me. But it doesn't happen because the parents are spending most time with the children. So again, the human that spends time with another human, they will start to emulate them. And if the parents are practicing, that is one of the biggest engines and drives to make your children practicing. That's one of the biggest ones I'm saying. Second comes the teacher. Sometimes the parents fail to emulate or to practice Islam. And alhamdulillah, the children are blessed with a teacher that gives them some time and they're able to navigate through their lives, and become practicing Muslims through that. But if as parents we are failing, then our children are on the pathway of failure as well. Now I'm not going to say all is doomed, But what I would say to you is that if you want your children to be righteous, then just do it. Carry on doing it in front of them. See, a lot of us want to preach to our children. We sit there, we lecture children, and we tell them, don't do it. Look, the best way is you become that person you want them to be, and they will automatically follow you. I'll give you an example. Parents who pray fast, they pray the salah fast in the house, guaranteed their children are faster than them, or at least the same speed. Right? So if you as a parent say Allah Akbar, right, you're doing it like literally like a 4 rakats will be done in about 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes, okay? There are people who can pray like that. 2 minutes, 4 rakats is done. Your children will do exactly the same thing. Now I'll give you a tester. You go home, you start praying 4 rakats in 5 minutes or 4 rakats in 4 minutes. You'll see your children slowly, if they're next to you while you're praying, automatically, slowly, they'll do 4 rakats in 4 minutes or 4 rakats in 5 minutes. Automatically. But they have to be next to you. They have to be next to you to feel your presence and to see you. They'll automatically do it. So whatever you're doing, your children will automatically feel that they need to do the same thing. So become that person you want them to become, and they will become the same person as well, inshallah.